G'day, I'm Mark Hoth and welcome to Swift Almanac, where we teach you the basics of Swift in 10 minutes or less. Today's lesson is if-else statements. So let's have a look at if-else statements in 10 minutes or less. If and if-else statements within Swift, there's nothing unusual about this if you've used any other programming language. So we'll create a couple of variables. Is hidden, which we'll set to true, it's a Boolean. Is enabled, which we'll set to false, which is also a Boolean. And another variable called count, which we'll set to 5, and that will be, of course, an integer. So the object of an if or an if-else statement is to test for Boolean outcomes, that is, if something is true or false. So the syntax is quite simply if is hidden, which we know is true, then print out window is hidden, and it won't give us optional 6, it'll give us window is hidden. And we can also test for integer values. So count equals 5, that's an equivalency, and the count does equal 5, and so it will print out count equals 5. The if statement followed by the test or the condition, and then it will perform any commands within these two braces. You can also make quite complex test. You can go if count equals 5 and is hidden. We can print out the count is 5 and the window is hidden. And if it becomes particularly complex, you can also place these things in brackets to make it more readable. And if your conditions are quite complex, then you can put them all on multiple lines in order to aid in readability. So that's going to help us if we just have to test for one condition and outcome. Sometimes you want effectively a switch. You want to do one thing if something is true and another thing if something is false, so that we add the else statement. So here, if is hidden and is not enabled, we print the window is hidden, and that's what happens. Otherwise, we're going to print the window is not usable, and if we change is hidden to false, then this first condition will fail and it will check the else statement, and it will now say the window is not usable. Finally, you may have a case where there are many different conditions that you need to test for. So in this case, we might want to test for if is hidden, in which case we'll print window is hidden. Else, if is enabled, we will print the window is visible, and we go finally the catch-all else at the bottom, print window is not usable, and that is in fact the case for this example. So the thing with an if statement is it doesn't test every value. Once a condition is met, it will fall through to the bottom brace. So if is enabled is true, then it will print window is visible. In fact, we'll set it to true to demonstrate. So the window is visible, but it doesn't check this other value below. So this is different to a switch statement with the fall through command, which will enable you to check multiple different cases. So your programming experience will determine whether or not you wish to use an if statement or an if-else statement, or whether or not you're going to use a switch statement. Usually you'll find that the compiler is more effective at compiling switch statements than particularly long if statements. Cases where you have multiple conditions in all of these areas. For instance, you could have count equals 0, etc. Count equals 1, count equals 2, count equals 3. You would probably write these as a switch statement rather than this long convoluted else if statement. Well, that's it for if-else statements. If you have any questions about the tutorial, then please leave a comment below or hit me up on Twitter @SwiftAlmanac. Please subscribe to the channel, it's free, and check out our website at www.swiftalmanac.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.